We talked about Gary Johnson and libertarianism on the show before. You know, libertarians, they start talking, they sound good. They're like, hey, let's get rid of that drug war. Yeah. We take some of that money we spend on prisons, we put it in, yes. Hey, we get rid of all those, emergency services and roads and stuff. Like, whoa, wait. See, everybody's a libertarian up to a point. That's what they say. All right, so here he was asked a question this morning by Mike Barnacle, who's my favorite plagiarist on the Joe Scarborough show.
Yeah, I'm from Massachusetts. I appreciate that.
Isn't that a great? I mean, that's a great line. That Morning Joe roundtable, right? It's spelled with Washington insiders, Wall Street suck-ups, and your odd plagiarists. So, which is it's nice. That's what it's just millionaires, billionaires, Wall Street insiders, plagiarists.
To be fair, everyone reading Mike Barnacle should have known that there's no way that he was generating George Carlin level jokes himself. All right.
What a moron! Yeah. Why would you're gonna? Why would you just start quoting lines from Casablanca and hope no one notices? You're stealing jokes from the. George Carlin, an icon? You're stealing an icon's jokes. You don't think anybody's going to notice? That's how dumb these guys are.
Yeah, it would be like Donald Trump's wife biting Michelle Obama. I mean, who the fuck would do that?
So here we go. They asked him a question about Aleppo. Now, if you don't know what Aleppo is the epicenter of the problems in Syria, right? So it's, and by the way, it was also in the book... I forget the name. All right, here we go.
Speaking of which.
Wasn't it Murder on the Orient Express, right? And I think they talked about Aleppo.
I didn't read that book.
I didn't read it either.
Yeah,
all right, here we go.
Good.
What would you do if you were elected about Aleppo?
Good question. Someone should ask Donald Trump that question. That's what I say.
I mean, Aleppo's great. Big things.
Here we go.
About Aleppo.
And what is Aleppo?
You're kidding.
No.
Aleppo is in Syria. It's the epicenter of the refugee crisis.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Well, with...
Can we give Barnacle credit? We were just slagging him, and he's actually doing a pretty solid work there.
Mike Barnacle takes a break from plagiarizing for a gotcha question that actually gotchas.
And then he does a very patient, like, oh, okay.
You're kidding. I love he goes, you're kidding. And what is Gary Johnson thinking at that moment? Like, uh-oh. I mean, that's the joke we make fun of him about, that he's a pothead and he doesn't know stuff. He's dumb. That's the joke we make on here. And then he does this. He does a Sarah Palin.
I'm here to talk about weed and why homeless people should be sold on a private market exchange.
Hey, listen, I'm
all thrown off by the question there, man.
Yes. I'm also pro shrooms. Does that help in Aleppo?
I think we should have acid, and I also think that poor people should be able to sell vials of their blood, man. I mean, so I'm a little bit thrown as to the nature of the question.
Aleppo, you know, there was, he's one of the Marx brothers. There's Harpo, Groucho, and Aleppo. Chico. I think that was one of them.
I think you're right.
Johnson's such an isolationist. He's even isolated himself from knowing anything about the world. Good for him.
I don't want any more tweets about this guy as an alternative.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to hear that shit. We can have the whole Hillary.
Well, he's not as bad
blah,
as
blah.
Trump.
He's not as bad as Trump, but I'm saying if you need to not vote for Hillary, I mean, vote for
Jill
fucking
Stein.
Jill Stein.
Yeah.
Why is anybody talking to me about this guy?
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? I like the fact that he's clueless about it, because if you don't know where a place is, you can't bomb it.
Oh, no, I can figure it out, man. There was an interview with Gary Johnson that came out a couple years ago, I think, at Reason Magazine. He was basically, I wouldn't change anything about the drone war.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, then he's not a libertarian.
Oh, libertarians, believe me, it's an elastic. When it doesn't going to take them that much to get pushed into the idea of wanting to bomb some brown people.
Aleppo, man, I thought it was a dog food company.
Yeah. Here's what we should do. We should make drones a private subsidiary of McDonald's, much more efficient, and then just bomb Aleppo, man.
Bomb Aleppo, man.
Do it, and then they can have weed. Syria's a heavy place.
We want him to be good. I want a better person. I want 4 people on a debate stage and them all to know what Aleppo is.
Libertarians no bueno, man. It's the Scientology of politics. Never going to be good.
So then he just goes right into like a stump speech, like a pre-program. Want to see the pre? So let's watch this again because this is fun to watch. Here we go. It's kind of fun. Mark Barnacle gets to look like a journalist, and right.
What would you do if you were elected about Aleppo?
About.
Aleppo.
And what is Aleppo?
You're kidding.
No.
Aleppo is in Syria. It's the epicenter of the refugee crisis.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Well, with regard to Syria, I do think that it's a mess. I think that the only way that we deal with Syria is to join hands with Russia to diplomatically bring that at an end. But when we've aligned ourselves with, when we've supported the opposition, the Free Syrian Army is also coupled with.
So now he just starts throwing terms around, right? Free Syrian Army, the couple.
You know what his main policy agenda was when he was governor of New Mexico?
Weed.
Prison privatization.
He wanted to privatize the prison?
He did. Much prison privatization. And he wasn't calling for legal weed back then either. This guy's
horrible.
He might be an affable person in this case. You could maybe give him the affable, but like this is not an alternative.
So I did not know that. No one knows that. How come no one knows it? How come you know that?
Because I talked to Mark Ames.
Oh,
Shout
Mark
out.
Ames told you?
Yes, Mark Ames told me.
Oh, now you told me.
Now, and you were like, private prisons? Okay.
So when we were in...
So not good.
When we were in Philly, we interviewed a bunch of libertarians. And, I just know about libertarianism. I didn't know specifics about Gary Johnson. And I certainly didn't know about his private prison. I should have asked those libertarians about the private prison.
Private prisons, austerity... I mean, this.
You know what? They're
garbage.
It's funny too because they're all like, they all go, yeah, we're libertarian, but we understand Social Security. Like, well, then you're not a libertarian.
No, they don't. They want to get rid of it completely.
No, these guys were like, yeah, we'd have to privatize it, and I'm like, well, then it's not Social Security if you privatize. It's just an investment scheme.
Yeah.
Then you're just investing in the stock market. That's all that is.
That's a Wall Street Ponzi scheme,
right?
Which every single Democrat at the time in the Senate, including Hillary Clinton, actually killed when George Bush tried to do it. That's how regressive we're getting here.
Yeah.
And
okay.
Even Joe Lieberman helped kill that, I think.
You
refuse to believe that he ever did anything good.
Not a chance.
He's a Shonda for the Goyim.
There's Joe Lee again. Yeah. When I see people deny poor people health care and try to wrap it in morality like Joe Lieberman did, you're like, oh, that he's the kind of horrible people that shouldn't be in government, but are. Gary Johnson, not horrible, just making Sarah Palin look better every day, isn't he?